do you have any other campfire stories for us today? Oh gosh, yeah, I have a lot of campfire stories. I don't know which one should we. Is there? Does anybody have any idea? Does anybody wanna? Well, I can tell you a really nice. Okay, how many of you know Maria Callas? I mean, not personally. How many of you have heard of Maria Callas or Callas, the opera singer? Let them burn. Okay, I'm going to wait a second. Let's see. How many people know about Maria Callas? Because I need to know how deep I have to explain this to make it clear. Okay, so Maria Callas, wonderful opera singer. Yes, she's a diva. From one of her interviews, I posted a little snippet on my Instagram. By the way, SUPERDACOB spelled together. You're already there because you know it, but for those of you who will be watching this video on YouTube later on, SUPERDACOB spelled together. Maria Callas, a little snippet of an interview she made where she says, you know, they kind of ask her like, well, how do you compare yourself to, because she's Greek, she was born in Greece. Funny that a Greek woman would sing about, you know, opera, and opera is all about tragedies, and tragedy was born in Greece. And they say, well, so are you the classical tragic Greek figure also in your private life? And then she said, oh, no, what differentiates me from the Greek is that when tragedy hits, I don't cry about it. I don't go, oh, woe is me, you know, the drama. I don't. I deal with it. So, but that's an interesting to note. So you can see that snippet on my Instagram. I just scroll further down. I posted it towards the beginning of this whole health issue that we're going through right now, because I love the way how she would approach it the same way that she did in the interview. She would approach this whole issue we're going through by not crying about it, but she would deal with it, right? So when in one of the Medea mise en scènes, right, when she sang Medea, the opera Medea. By the way, she also, the only movie she acted in ever was in Pier Paolo Pasolini's Medea. They were big friends, but that's a totally different story also. But check out the movie if you can. Actually, the movie is available on YouTube for free. You should watch it. Everybody should watch it. It's a part of world culture. It's not a movie you're used to seeing. It's not a blockbuster. There's not a lot of conversation going on. It's a historic movie. But anyway, opera is different from the movie. The opera, so Medea is this, she's a mean woman. Well, you think she's a mean woman, you know, killing her own kids. I mean, it's complicated. But anyway, this is besides the point. What I want to say is the campfire story. Maria Callas was always, you could imagine how divas and stars of today are also scrutinized. Every step she would make, every way she would sing or behave on stage or off stage, they would scrutinize her, they would criticize her, they would try to destroy her, you know, because she was just that good. And so she developed also a very interesting relationship to her audience. When she sings a part on stage, of course she becomes that person, that character, but she never forgets that there's an audience in front of her. So how she dealt with one particular moment, we could call it today, we could call it trolling, because we have in social media, we have the trolls, the nasty people who hide behind their faceless thumbnails and usernames that don't exist in real life, and then they just kind of try to put you down with words, right? So she was singing Medea, and her voice was perhaps not at the peak of strength, which is fine, because again, in many interviews she also states, you know, when she sings a dramatic role, the woman that she depicts in that role does not have to have, if the role is a tragic role, the voice also has to break somehow The voice also has to show fragility. The voice also has to show potential weakness or getting close to death, you know. And if you have to express that through voice, you have to show the cracks in the facade. And she did for Medea, and she got booed from the audience. So the audience was, as the audience was, particularly in France and in Italy, they would boo you immediately. The second they don't appreciate something, they're not patient, they're completely like so entitled, you know, they go like boo, you know. But in that particular moment, in that particular scene, she was supposed to say, and I know the opera word in Italian, traditori. Traditori means betrayers. So if somebody betrays you, you're like, you're a betrayer. You're a traditore, right? So she was supposed to sing this traditori to the characters on stage. But she literally stopped and did not sing it to the character on stage, but she turned straight to the audience, to the booing audience, and screamed to them, traitors, like you've betrayed me. And so the Medea from the stage, from the opera, from the tragedy, turns into Maria Callas in real life that reacts to the audience. And we have this triangle that is so fascinating to me. And it's always fascinated me so much, and I kind of always connect... oh, thank you. I love the noise of your jewel. This one. Yeah, the little Chanel bracelet. The connection between always being aware. This is what fascinates me so much, a Campfire story. That we have a split personality in today's day and age. We have social media, right? And we have real life. So we have internet and we have real life. And we kind of balance between which one of the two is usually, which one of the two is our reality and which one isn't. And they kind of mix. There are those days when you spend more time on social media than in real life. And in those days, social media becomes your reality because it kind of occupies more than 50% of your time. And then there are those days when you're out and about and you barely touch your smartphone, and you barely check Instagram, Twitter, whatever have you. And then social media becomes the acting part, and it's not the real life. And the real life takes over, and real life is real life. And then there are those days when it's kind of 50-50, and you're both ways. You're in between these two worlds, and you're like, okay, so I'm a little bit this, a little bit that. And just like Maria Callas on that stage, you're singing to two different tunes, right? You're singing to your characters, your colleagues' characters on stage, but you have the influence also from the other world, right? So let's say you're talking to the real people sitting next to you at the table at a bar, but you're getting notifications from Instagram at the same time because somebody's chatting you up. And you turn and you kind of react and interact with that part of your reality, and then you go back to, and you veer to the other. So it's so fascinating how we see examples of blending of realities already in the past, when we did not have social media, when we did not have the internet and all the ways and forms of communication that we have today. So when we talk about stuff as, for example, the Mandela effect, and you know the Mandela effect is a big thing for many people. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's kind of interesting. Oh, hi, Fulvio, how you doing? The Mandela effect is, to me, explainable if we really try to understand which parts of the past that we have lived and experienced, or that we can analyze, like, for example, this Maria Callas on stage interacting in a way that we would today in social media, and all of a sudden you understand, aha, so actually this form of communication that is manipulated and in some sort of way influenced by social media today already was happening in a time when there was no internet. And this to me is kind of like a Mandela effect, if you may. Now, technically speaking, not really, because there's going to probably be some other philosophical, more professional term to describe it. But you know what I mean? So, we, I believe, constantly live between the past and the future. We're never really in the present. Now, bear with me. This is going to get a little very philosophical. If I'm too philosophical, well, I see that I'm getting too philosophical because the numbers are dwindling of the viewers. Sorry if I'm boring you guys. But let's get philosophical anyway for a second, shall we? So, I posted this the other day on my Instagram profile. The little tiny Aztec-inspired Byzantine / Aztec alien brooch from Chanel 2016. And it had two little eyeballs. One eye is a pearl and the other eye is a stone. And I said, and that was the philosophy behind it, I said, well, this is a funny little tiny alien that one eye only sees the past and the other eye only sees the future. This alien came to this world to tell us that everything is going to be fine. He just came to visit us, to pay his respects. But it costs this alien a lot to come to our present time. Why? Well, if this alien with one eye only sees the past, and with the other eye only sees the future, or you could say into the future, and with one eye sees only into the past, then this alien has no eye to see into the present. So for this alien to come from the past or from the future just to say hi to us means that this alien is blind in the present time. Now, this was a figurative speech that the idea that I had of this of these two eyes, and none of the two eyes sees the present, is in that post it's an alien, but in reality I'm talking about us. I don't think that most of the time we are capable of seeing what we have in front of our noses. You know, they say, oh, you only know what you lost when it's gone. Ever heard that before? I'm sure you did. Well, that's exactly what this means. Because you don't see the present. You remember the past. You dream about the future, about what you can accomplish, what you can become, or what can happen. But while you're dreaming of the future, you can't dream of the future in the future. You're dreaming of the future in the now. So technically, you're missing the present because you're dreaming about the future. When you're reminiscing of the past, you still have to reminisce of the past in the present because it's the now that allows you to reminisce of the then. So you don't see the present. We are blind to what is right in front of our noses. I find that so fascinating because it's an exercise. We have to constantly exercise and remind ourselves that we have something really big now in the present. No matter what it is, we have to cherish what we have in the present. We have to really focus very hard and fade out and zoom out and block out the past and the future to be able to really be in the present. Think about that, you guys. Think about that. And with that heavy philosophical thought, I bid you all adieu, because Instagram doesn't let us live stream more than 1 hour at a time, and the countdown just started. I got 1 minute and 38 seconds left. So I'm going to use this 1 minute and 34 seconds of the present time to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, for being so patient, for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this little chat that we had. Until next time, I wish you all to stay healthy, safe, think positive as much as you can, And while you're at it and in the mood, watch some Super Dacob videos on YouTube. And subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to also click on the notification button, because a lot of people forget to do that. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. Super Dacob all spelled together. I would love to thank my patrons for this help, especially in these hard times right now. There's a special Misia series going on Patreon for you. Misia being Coco Chanel's best friend. And enemy. Frenemies. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Love you all. See you soon. Take care. Bye.